Welcome, welcome, welcome. Live at the Steelmatic Network with G Honda. Live at the Steelmatic Network with G Honda. Talking all things UFC news, analysis, and updates. Episode 5. Appreciate y'all being here with me today on this fine Tuesday. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that Cash App, Steelmatic001. Steelmatic001. I appreciate y'all being in here with me today. Appreciate y'all being in here with me today on this fine Tuesday, man. I appreciate y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that Cash App, Steelmatic001. Steelmatic001. I'm your host, G Honda. Appreciate y'all being on here this Tuesday, man. Sharing this time with me, sharing this time slot with me. We're going to get into all things UFC content, UFC coverage, and we gonna cook today. Appreciate y'all. How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today? Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Share the content. Help me grow the channel. Help me get the channel past this 500 marker. Trying to get past this 500 marker out here. All right. For sure, for sure. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all hit that like button on the way in. Hit that like button on the way in. Appreciate y'all being in here today. Appreciate y'all, man. Let me see what we gonna get first. So we gonna touch on this past weekend. As y'all well know, John Bones Jones, he won his UFC title. I'm sorry, he defended his title. John Bones Jones defended his UFC heavyweight title. Shout out to John Bones Jones. Defended his heavyweight title this past weekend at UFC 309. John Bones Jones, the baddest man on the planet. Not exactly Mike Tyson, but the MMA version of Ali. You know, John Bones, one of the most dominant fighters in UFC history, one of the most dominant combatants to fight in the sport of combat sports. And he defended his title this past weekend for his first heavyweight title defense. We're going to get into more of that later. First and foremost, I want to touch on another guy he fought at UFC 309 this past weekend, an up-and-comer by the name of Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal's a wrestler that competes in the middleweight division of the UFC. And he's an up-and-comer. He won his fight via decision against Paul Craig in the middleweight division. And he moves up to 7-0. Won 3 of his, well, he's undefeated fighter, a newcomer. Like I said, defeated Paul Craig, 2 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, and 5 first-round finishes. Like I said, undefeated fighter, up-and-comer in the middleweight division. Definitely one to look out for. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Appreciate y'all being here with me today. Appreciate y'all being here with me today. Next guy I want to get up to, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Charles Oliveira won via decision, won via 5-round decision against Michael Chandler on this past Saturday at UFC 309 co-main event. Charles Oliveira, he indeed lost his lightweight title to Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev, the new 155 king. That's definitely running the table at 155. But Charles Oliveira, with this win over Michael Chandler via decision, definitely puts himself back in the #1 contender slot. So Charles Oliveira will be is considered now a #1 contender in the 155 lightweight division. He did lose his last outing to Sakura Khan in the 155 matchup, but he is currently a #1 contender for that 155 slot. So, and the guy who's running the table at 155, would indeed be Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev, who has been dominated dominant at 155 ever since becoming champion, ever since his defeat of Charles Oliveira in that first match and that first outing. But the fight everybody want to see, Charles, the rematch of the second fight between Islam and Oliveira. The most highly anticipated matchup of 2025, as well as one of the most fight of the year candidacy, if I must say. Two dominant guys. I know coming off that matchup against Michael Chandler, Oliveira looked great. He looked dominant. He dominated the fight from start to finish. Chandler had some instances, but wasn't much Chandler could do. As every which way the fight went, Charles Oliveira won on the ground, standing. Michael Chandler was just outmanned. I mean, I just believe personally Michael Chandler was out for too long waiting on that Conor McGregor fight that never came and waiting for that money grab fight. But Charles Oliveira, a gamer, a competitor, a ferocious competitor, and just one you just can't never sleep on. And that's why this is the fight to see. The fight with Islam, the fight with Islam and Oliveira is indeed the fight to see. Yes, it is. And then there's the main event, John Bones Jones. John Bones Jones. John Bones Jones took on Stipe Miocic, won via spinning back kick third round. But that first round was indeed devastating. That first round was indeed devastating. John Jones, he threw of a bevy of elbows once he got Stipe to the ground. Uh, Hit Stipe with tremendous ground and pound, elbows to the head, many elbows to the head. But as John is a striker, but he is initially a wrestler. So he did dominate Stipe once he got Stipe to the ground on the first round. Then eventually finishing him via back kick on the third round and retired Stipe, if I must say. So yeah, so he retired Stipe, defeated Stipe, got his first heavyweight defeat. His first heavyweight title defense. But indeed, John Jones still heavyweight champion. And still heavyweight champion as per the thumbnail. So John Jones is looking for max paydays. Max paydays. Max paydays via that he defended his title, via that he's defeated all the top guys in the business. But the owner, Dana White, has came out and stated he's not interested in putting you against Pereira, one guy you are bigger than, some guy that you are indeed have a significant advantage over. But they wasn't saying that when they put Pereira over Adesanya, a guy that Pereira significantly bigger than, a guy that's Pereira significantly more dominant than, but all of a sudden, Jones is too big for Pereira. Just like Floyd was too big for Manny Pacquiao, or Floyd was too big for, uh, gosh, it's embarrassing. Tip of the tongue name. Manny Pacquiao. They said Floyd was too big for Manny Pacquiao. But in time, as time has shown, worthy adversary. Um, Great fight to make. I mean, I know the huge money fight is Jones and Tom Aspinall, but who's counting, right? Alex Pereira, dominant champion, current UFC light heavyweight champion at 205. Former division Jones ran for quite some time. But Alex Pereira, definitely one of those guys, dangerous guy at that, and a guy that definitely has came into the UFC and took it by storm. The biggest store in the UFC, the biggest store in the business, and the most dangerous guy in the business. Yeah, no lie. the most dangerous guy in the business. I mean, I think it's a great fight to make. I think it's one where Jones is not going to be an easy fight at all for him. It's going to be a dangerous fight for him. It's going to be a fight that Jones actually gets hurt and take punishment. Because he never took any punishment in his he never actually took any punishment in his career. Let's be real. I mean, if you honestly look at all his defenses and all this, any fight that Jones has ever had, he never really took no punishment where he was severely injured. But I believe this fight, once he gets this fight with Pereira, or if the fight is being made, Pereira put some hurt on him. Both of them are the same age. Both of them are older, but Pereira has that power. Pereira has that. It's like one of those Tyson Holyfield type deals. You got guys that got that power, but Pereira ain't no Stipe. Pereira's, he's active. He's always training, always stepping up in competition, and always stepping up in events and saving events. So you put that all together, you got somebody extremely dangerous, and Prayer is that dude. Prayer is that dude. Then there's the route where I would deem unlikely, however, not too far off base, because a lot's been in talks of a UFC Africa. And how would we all love that, right? How would we all love a UFC Africa when, take the fight capital back to the motherland? Take it back to South Africa, Cape Town, Johannesburg, or, even the likes of, Kenya or Egypt or North Africa, however, how be it, right? But more than likely South Africa, because since that's the most capitalistic, right? But long story short, having UFC Africa, something events we've never had, and we never had an event in South Africa, never had an event in Africa, period, right? But all things considered, that's an option via that, be one of the massive paydays for both of them, a massive event for the business, and also for, African and Black fighters, all across the roster. Yeah. He was not going to want to be a part of that event, but I know, of course, for Jones and Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya, a former champion, a former middleweight champion, um, in the middleweight division, voiced previously of matching up with Jones, but of course Jones at heavyweight, and I doubt if Jones will want to come back down to 205, or even um, if Israel Adesanya was to move up, possibly. But of course Jones too big for him, and I don't think Israel will be able to bulk up like that, being that he's a natural middleweight. But all things considered, albeit two of the massive fights for Jones right now would be indeed the Aspinall fight as well as the Pereira fight, because that's just two of those two massive paper days, massive paydays for Jones, I should say, um, would be where he can come in and dominate, but will he have, would those be dominant matchups for him? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you got two dangerous guys to where they can come in and inflict harm on him. I don't think that's harm he would want to sustain right now. But Jones, of course, you made your bones, pun intended. Um, Dominating guys that's much smaller than you. And now you got guys that's your size, and which, to his credit, not his fault, but you had to fight who they put in front of you. So I mean, and you adapted to it, you made those adjustments, and that's what you did. So, but those two dangerous fights, Aspinall and Pereira, I think it'll go a long way if those two fought, and we actually seen who was the superior of those two. Because if I'm Aspinall, if I'm trying to get that Jones fight ASAP, but Jones is, quote unquote, ducking, um, I would take on Pereira. I would take on the next best person. Process of elimination. But Jones, he definitely want those massive paydays. But and my take on Jones is that, and nobody's been more critical on Jones than me. Um, that he took the years that he took off, being that he had the miscues and woes that he had with his career, but in which I felt, you couldn't afford to take off. You couldn't afford to miss additional time to where um, you had your PD issues, you had your drug issues, your out of the cage issues. You can't take no, and you calling yourself a competitor. You're not taking the time off because you already missed significant time with your drama, with your problems. So be that as it may, I mean, your time for those biggest paydays that you wanted was then, but you sat on the sideline. So here we are now. But tables always turn, and we just got to see where we at. We just got to see where we at. But I think those right fights are going to be made because the demand is there. The year is in, um, and I know we got some since the UFC definitely has some significant events down the pike. Move coming into different countries. UFC Africa needs to happen in 2025. UFC Africa needs to happen in 2025. Saturday, we're going to be in Macau, China for a third, I think this is about a third time, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know a time back, Max Holloway fought in Singapore. Yeah, so over that way. So yeah, definitely open up different markets and definitely bringing in other countries and also additional revenue. So I mean, you got guys and people that can generate that number, but UFC Africa is there, and that definitely needs to happen for 2025. Um, whether that be um, whoever it may be, right? Because as we saw when they did the event at the Sphere in Vegas, we saw Sean O'Malley and Sean O'Malley, of course. I believe it was the Mexican Independence Day. Y'all put in the chat if I'm not mistaken. It was the Mexican Independence Day, and there were a lot of clamor, a lot of talks was about being that why didn't you have Max Holloway and Ili Tapora compete at the Sphere? Which I thought that should have been the matchup as well, but it happened how it happened. But yeah, definitely Jones are going to get those super fights, Pereira and Aspinall, and two of those matches that I think that are winnable for him, yet dangerous for him as well. Because those two fights, he could definitely get hurt as well. But y'all like, share, subscribe, hit that cash app, Steelmatic 001, Steelmatic 001. Man, I appreciate y'all being here with me. I appreciate y'all supporting the content, supporting the show. Appreciate y'all greatly. So hit that like button on the way out. I'm going to be back on the UFC content on Thursday because Saturday this weekend, Fight Night, UFC Fight Night in Macau, China. We definitely going to be covering the matchups on Thursday. But man, I appreciate y'all being in here today. Appreciate y'all being here today. Shout out to the Steelmatic family, SBC, Caught Before the Horse Network, Do Better Podcast, all the supporters. I appreciate y'all greatly. Replay gang, I appreciate y'all greatly. Y'all like, share, subscribe, help me grow the channel, trying to get past that 500 marker so I can get monetized out here. Man, I appreciate y'all greatly. So, replay gang, share the content, help me grow the channel and help me build. Appreciate y'all greatly. So, man, appreciate y'all being in here with me today. I want y'all to have a great rest of your week. Be back with me on tomorrow, back with the Steelers updates, Steelers content. And of course, we'll be back with the UFC content on Thursday. Now, I appreciate y'all. I am G Honda. This is the Steelmatic Network. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Y'all have a great day.